Hi Victoria, how you doing?
Well, Percy. And you?
Well, but a little busy. Victoria has seen Jessica somewhere.
Today no, but yesterday I talked to her and told me he was not going to come to the college today as it is with a cold. She also told me that I take care of all his tasks today.
I understand. Then you do me the exam on the reflections of the MM5 webinars task number 4. Can you?
Of course, Percy. Jessica told me to pay special attention to your presentation. Percy, to start exposure, please give me the title, date, presenter, course number or name, and where the online presentation took place.
Okay Victoria. The name of the webinar is Micro Teaching Sessions on WizIQ How to Get Started, released on Saturday, October 18, 2014, presented by Dr. Nelly Deutsch.
Percy, now describe the online event very briefly.
The theme of the live class developed in WizIQ platform is about micro teaching sessions on WizIQ. How to get started. The class began with a greeting from the speaker Dr. Nelly Deutsch to all participants. Nelly motivated participants to be presented through the chat box, placing country and the place where they were appreciating this live class. Nelly showed us the program classes in this theme for this year and told us to constantly be imparted. Then she gave us a poll about the courses taught by Nelly that attendees they did rapidly. Then she asked participants if they have ever taken a class of micro teaching. Beginning with exposure, Nelly defined the term micro teaching, the purpose and steps to join. For that, asked participants to place links on this term in the chat box. Then she defined what micro teaching is. She said that micro teaching is a teacher training technique used by inexperienced and experienced teachers to practice teaching in small groups, pairs, 3 of 4, learn one from another as you watch. Micro teaching allows teachers to focus on practicing teaching skills in a confidential, non-threatening environment, feedback on teaching from multiple perspectives, supportive feedback from peers. Then Nelly spoke about the purpose of micro teaching. First, why micro teach? She said because is a social activity, is collaborative, because is learning together, because supported learning about a topic, and because is fun. Second, Nelly also spoke about how to micro teach. For that we have to do the following steps: partner with a teacher, anyone with micro teach experience, choose a subject, prepare a 10-20 minute presentation, schedule a live class on WizIQ, practice teaching for 10 to 20 minutes, decide on the day and time to teach as a pair, upload the PowerPoint presentation on WizIQ, make the presentation public, share the presentation link in the course feed of Learn to Blend Flip with Technology course on WizIQ, share the presentation with Nelly Deutsch via email, schedule a live online session, share the PPT with Nelly Deutsch via email nelly@deutsch@gmail.com, schedule a live online class for yourself, check the calendar of events to make sure the date for your session is available, 1 session per day in November and December, peer feedback after each session, certificates will be available, reflections on own and peers, share the date of your session with Nelly so she can add it to the calendar, practice teaching. Finally, after his presentation, Nelly asked to participants if they had questions. Then, she finished the exposure.
Percy, interesting exposure. Now please answer me these questions.
Victoria, ask me whatever you want.
Did you connect with the other attendees and or the speaker? If so, how?
Yes, there was an interaction between the speaker and the live webinar attendees. Through the use of text, emoticons and other symbols used from the chat box menu by participants, easy communication and interaction ensured.
What questions came up as during the event?
Among the questions that were presented at the event are: what is micro teaching? Why micro teach? How to micro teach?
Other question, Percy. How did the content relate to you as a teacher and or learner or individual?
Victoria, as a teacher, the content has to do with knowing and manage the different steps to create micro teaching classes. As a student, the content is related also to know these steps as teacher and student learn from each other together. As an individual, the content is related in the knowledge that an individual without titles may participate as a teacher in this type of education, should only have experience in this type of education to take the role of teacher.
Percy, what were some of the thoughts that went through your mind during this online event?
My first thought was the desire to obtain information about the basic definitions about micro-teaching. Another thought I had was to know what steps, procedures and web tools necessary to implement a course of micro-teaching. Finally, I thought I would apply all or some of the steps, procedures and tools in my future's micro-teaching online courses.
Percy, okay, this way you can practice what you have learned. Another question, how did you feel during the event? If you felt good, what made you feel good? If you felt discomfort, what made you feel discomfort?
Victoria, I felt good at the event. What made me feel good at the event was I learned about micro-teaching, a topic unknown to me. Another thing that made me feel good was knowing that with this information I can create interesting micro-teaching courses to help people who want to improve their teaching skills in online sessions such as webinars, classes or online support.
And what challenges might you encounter in implementing some of the ideas?
The first challenge is to know how to work with certain kind of web tools for preparing the micro-teaching classes as PowerPoint, WizIQ platform, Google Calendar or email. The second challenge is to choose the right partner to learn from each other in a suitable manner. The third challenge is to prepare appropriate content to present in a way that allows us to improve our teaching skills in an online environment.
I understand, Percy. Other question, what steps can you take to resolve the challenges?
First, see the tutorials, learn and practice in the use of web tools necessary to prepare micro-teaching classes. Second, after choosing my partner, myself agree with him on the criteria and evaluation techniques to acquire and develop within the micro-teaching class. Third, choose an interesting exhibition theme that allows to be developed and reflected by student and teacher in a time of between 10-20 minutes.
Percy, I see you have very clear steps of action. Penultimate question, what would you like to do in the future as a result of what you have heard, read, seen at the event?
I want to apply everything learned in micro-teaching to give the best online classes to my students in courses that I will develop.
Finally, last question. Write a question or two that you would like to research, look into as a result of the event.
First question, how can I schedule a live online session on WizIQ? Second question, how can I upload a PowerPoint presentation on WizIQ?
Perfect, Percy. Answered all very well. I congratulate you. You passed.
Thank you, Victoria, for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I hope we meet in another opportunity. Thanks again and greetings.
Keep studying, Percy. Bye now.
Bye-bye.